50 Cent, Jim Jones, and many other celebrities are pushing back at Jada Pinkett Smith with her recent memoir, Worthy, where she talks about, in the book, how she was out here in these streets moving weight, if you get what I'm saying. Is she telling the truth or no? What's up, y'all? It's your boy Pascal back at it again with another pop-up video. Be sure to follow me on all my social medias, The Pascal Show, one word. Hit that like button down below. And let's not forget to crush that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. And if you're watching on Facebook, crush that follow button over there as well on my Facebook page if this is your first time checking out this channel right here. Anyway, we got to jump into this story. As you know, Jada Pinkett Smith's been out here in every single interview, every single podcast. She's been on TV, internet, everywhere. People have been sharing clips, little excerpts from her interviews and all that. And there has been a lot of surprise and a lot of people clutching their pearls. One group of people, or some people, are actually questioning some of the things that she's been saying out here, not only just in her interviews, but also what she's saying in this book, Worthy, that is out today. And don't worry, we are going to be reading some excerpts from this book because some of it's very, very interesting. But I'm wondering, and I think that same thing with 50 Cent, Jim Jones, and the lot, they're all sitting here going, wait a second, is this true? Or is she just fabricating this and making it seem like this is an after-school special? I'll explain everything in just a minute. But as you can see in this article, the title in this article here, you can see Jim Jones is skeptical, including 50 Cent and many other people too. They're skeptical about, of course, Jada, saying that she was out here moving weight as a teen. Yeah. Now, Jim Jones says in a video, he says, hey, we need to see if they got some fiends that can verify. Like, I need somebody who can come in here and validate, make sure that they can vouch for this being true. Now, that could be a possibility. I mean, that is, but it was a long time ago. Okay. But some people can get clean and go, yeah, I remember her. Yeah, she used to sell to me and so on. Okay. But let's take a look at this article. Okay. Because like I said, stories could very well still be true, or they could just be a mountain of lies. Like I said, I like written synopsises or written like it's from a cliche after school special. We're going to be looking at some of that here in just a second. Let's look at this really quick. Okay. Now, people are asking a lot of questions. All right. Including Jim Jones, 50 Cent, which we're going to be looking at here in a second, his response or his comment. All right. So she says in her memoir, she details that selling these types of substances, okay, that she was out here pushing weight as a teenager, was the way to make money in Baltimore. She said, I decided to sell the D word. Got to use these code words. Growing up, these particular individuals were the ones that had affluence. That's what we readily saw as success. And I get it. That's kind of the normal thing that we hear about people growing up in the hood that end up going into a life like this. It's right there in their face, right? But again, it just seems a bit odd, especially when she talks about how incredibly gifted and talented she was in her school and how she had friends and family, other people that were around her that wanted her out of the hood, right? Out of there so that she could become the super mega star that she is today. But Jim Jones is wanting to hear from the supposed fiends that she was selling to back in the day. So I want to share with you guys this video because, I mean, he says it better than he says it better than this article. But I do want to say this first, man, that is not my smoke alarm. He needs to go and replace that battery with the quickness. But I digress. Let's just rock and roll.
My whole thing is, if you sold crack in the 90s, 9 times out of 10, there's still some crackheads in the neighborhood that can vouch that you were selling that butter. I don't know where Jada grew up at, but we need to go check and see. They got some fiends that can validify that she was selling that thing back in the she had that butter on the block for sale.
First off, he's got a very good point. Let's keep it real. There's probably somebody out there in the hood that's knew her as someone who lived that type of lifestyle. I know it's been a long time. It's a long time ago. Some of those people could have passed on, but some of those people could have still lived on, right? Some people you're like, damn, like you'd survive if the whole world got eradicated. It'd be you and cockroaches. You know what I'm saying? Like a Keith Richards type person. You feel me? All right, just indestructible. But then again, there's some people who could have gotten clean and said, hey, yeah, she used to sell me this stuff, blah, blah, blah. That could be it too, right? But there's something else I wanted to show you. And this is what 50 Cent put up on his Instagram. If I'm correct, this is from his Instagram, but he's literally trolling her saying like, thug life, Jada in New York looking for Puffy, LOL. You think you're going to get away with this? Okay. And of course, there she is in the car and all that. And again, still, he's saying, yo, she's lying. This is all cap. And I got to be real. In this book, there's some moments that are just a little bit weird. And there's some parts that I get it. The desire to be financially free, the desire to get out of situations, out of your hood, out of your environment, being able to buy a car and all that. I get those things. Okay. But there's something about this that's just feels like an afternoon, like after school special. You know what I'm saying? So I got a couple excerpts that I want to read to you guys, because I know not everybody's going to read this book, you know? So let me just read some of these things from the book itself. And I took notes. Trust me, I took notes. The idea that I could gain some financial freedom by selling just seemed practical to me, to make a way for myself in a landscape where so many awful things were happening. With the distorted reality that I had, selling drugs was the norm and didn't seem as extreme as the horrors taking place every day. Like the time of one of my homeboys being shot multiple times and left for dead in the middle of a street from 1 a.m. to 7 a.m. the next morning. I'll never forget the sound of his mother and sister wailing in the streets all night as they stood by his body. This was real life, brutal and unfair. The best you could do was to win by any means necessary. Is this selfish? Yes. But that was survival. When you live in an environment where you are seen as unworthy, you feel unworthy, you're going to treat others that way too. These kinds of dog-eat-dog conditions can turn anyone selfish, which could make selling drugs simply a part of the game of life. This was my way to financial stability and mobility. I wasn't going to become a hustler's girlfriend. I had seen with my own eyes the level of control and enslavement that came from being financially dependent on a man. Some of the girls in my circle looked to their drug dealer boyfriends to give them places to stay, cars, jewelry, and clothes so they could have a better life. But at the cost of enduring cycles of betrayal and that were unthinkable to me. F that. If anyone was going to give me the trappings of the good life, it was going to be me. I came to the conclusion that I could be as successful as a drug dealer as any man. In my view, I could work my way to running a whole operation, be a queenpin. Now, and of course, to me, you know, when I see this piece, I'm looking at it and I'm like, dang, wait a second. You're literally like, what? So in other words, is this the start of Queen of the South? If you don't know that about that show, go check it out. But at the same time, is this like the origin story for Queen of the South or something like that? Like her own version of that? The Baltimore version of Queen of the South? Queen of the Baltimore, the B-more, as she says in this book. And there's more in this, guys. Like there's a lot going on here and it still just doesn't make sense. It feels like it's a fabrication to add more drama to the book. Let me explain, or let me show you what I mean. Another piece, she talks about how she is in the middle of dealing in Cherry Hill, which is a place that she said she would never go to, but she had to go there. But she shows up and she is selling through this apartment on the first floor. Okay. And of course, a guy comes up, and it's a guy that she would never, ever sell to ever again because of past problems with this particular customer, if you get what I'm saying. But she decides, F it, he's got the money, I'm going to hook him up. So then suddenly, she says here, before I can grab his money, two dudes jump out, both holding 9mm as they kick the door open, breaking the safety chain and point their guns at my face. In terror, I fell back into the recliner I usually posted in and peed my pants. One of the dudes presses closer to me and points his 9 to the middle of my head. The woman who lives there in a similar terror hides under a small round dining table as the second dude starts to scour the apartment. Take off your jewelry, says the dude with the gun to my head. He's so cool about it that I, terrified as hell, in pissy pants and all, can't help but talk ish. Out of this whole book, there is things that it just feels like scenes from a movie. And again, not sitting here saying that it's fake, but again, I can see why some people are wondering what's up, given the fact that there's been so much that's come out recently that we have found out that were all lies, all fabrications. Can you blame all of us wondering if her street life is real or not? Think about it, guys. Think about it. Anyway, guys, that's the video. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. Hopefully you appreciated some of the excerpts from the book. Again, there's still a whole lot. I mean, shoot, I read maybe 3 or 4 pages out of this mug out loud to you guys. There's so much going on in this book. I'm going to continue to look through it and see if there's anything else worthwhile talking to you guys about. But at the same time, I knew that was one thing that was really eating at me, wondering if this was actually real or not. The conversation about her street life, that was something I'm going, okay, how much of that is real and how much of it is just straight lies? And unfortunately, I guess we will never fully know the 110% truth unless somebody comes out that is obviously credible, that could come out and actually vouch for this woman. Anyway, guys, that's the video. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. Hit that like button. Don't forget to crush that subscribe button. Also, hit that follow button if you're watching on Facebook. It'd be great to have you a part of the Pascal Show family on both platforms. Anyway, it's time to get going. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I'll see you guys in the next video. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.
Pascal, you are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild.